President Putin promises that there will be retaliation for the Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian city of Kazan. In fact, I believe he said we are going to destroy Ukraine, that he said during a government meeting that was broadcast live on TV. During that attack on Saturday, among other things, in an apartment building and an industrial estate were hit. But the interesting thing is Kazan, that is about 1,000 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. We go to hand Boomeister, Brigadier General Professor of Military Rational Sciences at the Dutch Defense Academy. Mr. Boomeister, good morning. Iwan and Nina, good morning. Such a gigantic end of the border with Ukraine. Have we seen that before? Yes, that has happened before. They have actually already managed to get an oil storage place so far from the border, and yes, it turns out that Ukraine now has a drone Delity that has a range of about 1,000 to 1,200 kilometers, so that can cross the border and go very deep into Russia, and that is also a very powerful drone because it can carry 50 kilograms of explosives. So you can deliver quite a blow with that. Yes, and apparently they can't get that out of the air, because if that has to travel 1,000 kilometers, you would think that would be enough time to shoot that stuff out, but apparently that doesn't work. Yes, and that is why you see that fierce reaction from Putin, of course, because this is actually another ticking face from Russia, that it turns out that if that thing has flown that far into Russia, that the air defense of Russia is still not completely in order. Yes, why, by the way, in Kazan did that? Because I saw indeed a kind of apartment building, yes, that doesn't really feel like a military target or anything like that. Why was that? Well, I suspect that that apartment building was hit, and we also saw film footage of it. It looks like a bit as if it was put in Zen EHM, and that brings back memories of 911 in the same way here, because it was hit high up in an apartment building. But in addition, Kazan is an important industrial city. There is, among other things, the petrochemical industry, so a processing of petroleum, but there is also munition industry, and that has been there since the Second World War, because then at that time the Soviet Union withdrew from the front so that it could not be directly hit by, at that time, Germany, and those factories still exist, and they make, among other things, weapons and explosives to be processed in the munition factory and I think that they meant that those were the Dolan that Ukraine and the Ukrainian intelligence services have investigated. Something else to note, that Lity drone that is mainly also used by the Ukrainian intelligence services, so the SBUA, that is the normal intelligence service, and the GOA, that is also the military intelligence service, that mainly have these drones in the armament. Yes, but they are not trying not with it. Right, we have not heard them yet. I think that they are responsible for this, no, but you see that Ukraine does that more often, right? They then carry out an attack like this one, but they are not going to talk about it very much because they do not want to make any further operational data available. So that remains very vague what happens about that. Yes, then, Putin says, so we are going to strike back, we come with destruction. Yes, is that more of the same as we know? So indeed attacks on energy, that infrastructure, we are going to see that again, still see, yes, probably, and actually that should also happen this weekend. Right, there are already some energy power stations the target of attacks, and I suspect that that is going to happen now in the run-up to Christmas to make it as difficult as possible for the people of Ukraine, and perhaps that he is also aiming at large cities to cause many victims there. Yes, Russia is also a Ukraine itself still on the winning side, you could say, willing to give up its territory. Yes, that's right. It claimed that it had conquered two places last weekend, that is Lazova, and that is in the region Gark, so that is in the north of let's say the whole long front line that runs through 4 provinces Luhansk, Donetsk, Sapor and Gerson, and the other village was Krasno, and that is in the region Donetsk. About speaking of the latter, that province that Russia still does not fully possess, and you can see that the intensity of the fighting has been increasing considerably in the last month and a half, and it seems as if Russia wants to launch a kind of final offensive, and that it thinks yes, but as of January 20th Trump is in power, and Trump has announced that he wants to end that war as soon as possible, so it seems like this is a kind of final offensive. Yes, finally, I also spoke about it half an hour ago with our Europac Carespo.